it becomes very difficult to differentiate, down on the ocean floor between a rock and a piece of gold. When you're looking at just quantitative data, when you're measuring how much of something exists, when you're combining the qualitative data, then it doesn't matter that it's still like a small audience. You can tell that this is Billie Eilish. It's not a high school band, and therefore you need to market and promote Billie Eilish because she belongs in the arena.
Yeah.
But that's not happening because the release cycle is so fast now.
Yeah.
And no one knows what to do, so they just put out more content. Didn't work, new song. Didn't work, new song.
Yeah,
just keep going. And what ends up happening is you dilute the brand and you dilute the quality, and that ultimately like hurts the artist brand, and I think that like that's something that I really regret from, building New Music Friday is, seeing the damage that workflow caused in terms of quality to an artist's brand, and I think that that's one of the things that I wish that we had done a better job of, is like figuring out like how to preserve the quality more so, and figure out how to extend the life of some of these songs that like we knew were hits. We just didn't have marketing levers at 3 months, at 6 months. Like we didn't have the ability to connect with radio and marketing, because back then we weren't able to talk to them a lot. We weren't able to get information the way that, information is shared today.
Mm-hmm.
It was still very much like everything was controlled through the label,
the major
relations team, and the major label. Yeah.
Fascinating stuff, man. Fascinating stuff. Yeah. I do think about a lot of how an artist is supposed to get in front of an audience now. And when I talk to independent artists or managers, I do tell them, I'm like, can you keep your recording costs down? And if you can keep your recording costs down, it is a game of quantity. You want to have quality, but like to earn a living in revenue, you have your examples of artists who release a song once a week, once every 2 weeks. And it's kind of because the costs are lower now to make music, to distribute music. You can do it more frequently. But you're right, it definitely dilutes the quality of the artistry.
Yeah.
But that's how you get in front of them, because it's like on week 85 of me putting out a song, it finally connects and it goes like a hockey stick.
Back then we didn't have UGC, to be able to keep the attention,
Right.
we just had that one song.
Yeah.
So like, again, you look at a lot of
literally
Atlantic's,
that one master.
Yeah, that one master. Like Atlantic fires so hard on content and storytelling because they recognize that is keeping the engagement. If you look at the Alex Warren campaign for Ordinary, and you take those three things, the engagement, the exposure, and the passion. And I wasn't sold, on Atlantic's approach, at first, because they're not, 10K. Elliot has been incredible, to me, just in terms of like putting, an arm around me and introducing me to Lucien, and he's really, been a friend. But like looking at this as like an unbiased, thing, 10K hasn't, traditionally been known for developing artists.
Correct.
They come in and they get hits and they get market share. But I think, from looking at a lot of what they are investing in, and by investing, I mean non traditional, marketing like types of content, and you look at this Ordinary campaign, and you can see the engagement and the exposure. Like the passion was like through the roof, from day one. Like obviously it had gone, viral on social before that. But when you look at the data and you can see the engagement, exposure move together, that tells me that's a coordinated marketing campaign. That's not reactionary, waiting for a trend. That is, we recognize that there's something here in the data that is telling me that this song is special, and we are going all in on content and marketing, push marketing.